What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jeff, the Luna Ink General himself, coming straight from underground. This is another edition of the Jeff interview. This is episode 9. Today, I'm gonna break down why I started the Jeff interviews, why I started talking to myself on camera, and I'm gonna answer some questions on my Instagram broadcast channel, my Vault channel, and my Discord channel. I'm gonna answer some of y'all questions. So that's basically today's episode. We have 2 segments ready to go. Without further ado, run my theme music. Let's get it.
It's the Luna. It's the Luna Ink General. Break from the underground, y'all know the name.
I've been like a professional artist, quote unquote, part-time rapper, full-time creator for like the past 2-3 years right now. I dropped The Color Grade 2022, dropped the Lunar World Volume 1 2023, and then dropped When Angels Cry 2024. So I'll say around 3 years doing it professionally. And I've done a couple interviews, I want to say around 8 or 10 interviews at this point. And I've noticed that usually when I do interviews, I get asked a lot of the same questions sometimes. I get asked a lot of questions that I've answered before. So the reason why I started the Jeff interview and I started talking to myself and I started like just talking about random topics, breaking down my projects, breaking down my songs and all that type of stuff. The reason why is because I was like, yo, my biggest thing growing up, I used to love watching like my favorite artists and my favorite singers, rappers, producers. I used to watch their interviews and I used to love how sometimes different interviewers would ask different questions, and like the artist or the rapper or whatnot would just like break down certain like stuff that the audience wouldn't really know about if the interviewer didn't ask. So obviously those interviews, like the Zane Lowe's and the Nadeskas and like all the different mediums and the different platforms, obviously those interviews are reserved for like the bigger acts. So the reason why I started this because I really put a lot of effort into like making music and making my art, and sometimes I feel like just one interview is not enough to really understand certain concepts around the music, certain concepts around even myself as an individual and my come up and my background. I feel like certain questions just go unanswered, especially when you're like doing interviews and doing a rollout and stuff like that. So it's like doing a rollout, most times like certain questions can go unanswered, certain questions can be like redundant, repeated over and over, like so with this I just wanted to kind of like break down more of my music, more of my life and my background, and just like me in general, and give the supporters and the fans just a different perspective on certain stuff, answer questions that don't really get asked in interviews, answer questions that the fans that want to see, because I grew up watching interviews and I love interviews. Interviews is how I fell in love with some artists. Like sometimes I'd listen to a song, I'll listen to an album, I'll listen to a project, and I'll be like, oh, that's a good project, that's a good album, that's a good song. But when I watch the interview, I'm like, yo, didn't like put 2 and 2 together. Now I gotta go back, listen to the song, and I fall more in love with the song, more in love with the project, more in love with the artist. And that's why I started this platform or this interview series, because I just want to break down, I want to answer certain questions. I want to give like the people that are really deep into like the music and like the concepts and the ideas, the production and the lyrics and all that. I wanted to break it down to give them a more deeper understanding of the music, of everything that I'm putting out. And I also know a lot of people want to know about like my background and just like what I'm doing on a day-to-day. So I'm like, yo, I'll just interview myself, give you all the answers as I go. And I also just wanted to get used to talking on camera. I feel like at a certain point I'm going to be doing interviews, and I've never been somebody I'm very like, I don't want to say introverted, but I'm also very like, I don't really do too much talking like in real life. I'm very quiet. So I also just wanted to talk a lot more and just kind of get that out there. And I also noticed that sometimes when I do interviews, I'd answer questions and days will go by and I'll be like, oh, I should have said that, I should have added to that question, I should have like broken that down a little more. So sometimes interviews, you're limited for time, you're limited for the questions, and you're just limited sometimes. So I feel like this would be like a very dope platform to just kind of like have that free flowing where I could just like answer questions, break things down even further, and just do me and on my own platform. Also kind of taking back control, because sometimes you wait for like the bigger platforms and like the interviewers and like journalists and stuff to kind of like come to you, interview you, and just kind of waiting. You make music, you put it out, and like you just kind of waiting for them to kind of be like, oh, this is fire, let me break that down. And sometimes like interviewers don't even listen to like the music. They might not not even be fans, you know, they might just be like heard of you and they just kind of want you on the platform. So starting this platform is kind of like a free for all where I could just like talk about the music, talk about me, and just break that down even further. So I'm excited, man. I'm like really excited to start this series. I see a bunch of people that like it. I'm gonna try and do it even more consistently and try and just do as much as I can. Possibly even bring guests, my engineer, producer, talk about the music even more. I think that'd be dope. But yeah, man, family members, friends, just different people. I feel like this could be like a really dope way to kind of get to know me, get to know the madness, the beauty behind the madness. But yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm glad y'all rocking with the series. Let me know in the comments if y'all want what y'all want me to do. If y'all want me to continue like just answering questions, or if you want like a different segments here and there. Just give me like ideas. Let's run it. We're building together. So let's lock in. You feel me? Let's lock in. But yeah, man, that's why I started the interview series, and that's basically it. So let's go over to the next segment. Okay, now I'm gonna run through some of these questions. I'm only gonna pick questions that I feel I haven't answered before. So as always, the next time I do it, be creative, just drop questions that like I don't answer, because I feel like I've answered a bunch of questions. So I don't want to like repeat answers and stuff like that. And I don't want to answer the same questions twice. I feel like that would literally destroy the whole point of this chef interview style thing that I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna try and put the questions up here somewhere on the screen so y'all can see. As always, if y'all want to be sending your questions or like be a part of like the whole Q&A thing, just check out the Instagram broadcast channel, or check out my Discord, or check out my vlog. All of that is going to be linked below, so make sure y'all stay tuned. So I'm going to answer some questions from the Instagram broadcast channel first. So shout out to everyone that came through, answered questions. We had about 107 people ask questions, which is crazy. I'm going to run through some of them. Some of them I'm going to skip, unfortunately, but let's do it, man. Let's do it. So first question is from Big Coco Fan, and they say, what's the first step in your creative process? It really depends on what I'm trying to do. If it's just a song, I usually just pick the beat first. I work on the production a lot, and then I start adding like melodies and lyrics to it. Sometimes I literally just pick a beat to like rap, because some days I'm just like trying to rap. And then there's some days where I actually want to create like a song hook, bridge, structure, and all that. So I focus heavily on like the hook, and then I come into like the verses and all that. But if I'm trying to create a project, I usually start with the concept, the idea behind the project, why I'm making the project, and then I work backwards. I kind of have the end goal in mind, and then I work backwards, and I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Someone's hitting me right now. I don't know why, because everyone knows I'm filming, at least like the majority of people. But anyway, let's get back into it. Where was I?
Wait a minute. It's the lunatic general.
Yeah, I work backwards, so I would have like the concept, the idea behind the project, the why of the project, and then I'll just work backwards, find the producers that will match the style that I'm going for. You know, I'm very big on like the sonics and the sound. The production has to match like the visual world that I'm trying to build, so I'm very big on that. So that's kind of how my creative process is when it comes to either making like a song or a project. Even with videos, I'm a big guy. I'm big on just like coming up with the concepts first, the visuals, and then I work backwards, and I'm like, okay, I need this director, I need that producer, and that I kind of work backwards. So that's my creative process. I hope that answered your question. Let's get into the next question. This one is from Cacarino. I hope I said your name right, Cacarino. And he says, when Europe tour? Europe tour is in October. It starts October 2nd, and boom, this is the flyer. It's somewhere on the screen right now. But yeah, man, come to a show. Y'all been asking for me to go on tour for the longest time. We're finally doing it, so make sure you grab your tickets. London, Manchester, Amsterdam, Paris, Dublin. I know a couple other cities I'm missing, but we're coming. So make sure you get your tickets. Make sure you come through. I'm gonna try and do a meet and greet. I'm gonna have the vinyls. I'm gonna have the CDs. Come through. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, let's keep running it down. Next question. This one is from Clay the Ariki. He says, do you watch anime? If so, what is your all-time favorite? I don't watch anime anymore, but when I used to watch anime, my favorite was Dragon Ball Z. Cliche, but I don't know. I don't care. Vegeta's like my all-time favorite anime character. I'd say that was my favorite anime of all time. a close second. I don't know if they count as anime, but I used to watch like Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to watch Pokemon. I watched Naruto, but I wasn't really a big fan, to be honest. So I watched Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh. That's about it. I don't know if Boondocks count as an anime. If it does, then Boondocks is my favorite of all time. I literally just I think like a day or two ago, I watched a movie called Akira. Crazy. That's probably one of my favorites soon. This one is from not_Colin C, and he says, if you could make a collab album with anyone, who would it be? If I could make a collab album with anybody, it would probably be a producer. I don't know what producer yet, but it would probably be a producer. I don't know if I could do a collab album with another artist, unless like we're homies and we've been like homies and we're locked in and we understand our sounds. Like I understand their sound, they understand my sound, and we've been collaborating. Because I don't think as two artists can come together and just kind of like create unless they've been like working together. Like this person has a song on that project and they have a song on his project, and they've been like slowly doing songs here and there together, and then eventually they come together and create like a project. Because a project, man, I'm telling y'all, a project is a lot of work, and it depends on the type of artist you are, but a project is a lot of work, man. Artists that come up with concepts and ideas and build entire visual worlds for their projects, man, I don't think you could literally just like collaborate with just anybody. So I think for me, I'll collaborate with the producer, come up with a sound for the project, and I'll focus, and the project is solely going to be focused on just like the sound of the project, like the sonics, like what drums and like the melodies and all that. That's probably what I would do if I was to do a collab project, at least right now while I'm at in my career. Let's keep it going. Next question. This one is from MAD_Max, and he says, what is your guilty pleasure song? My guilty pleasure song? I got you. This is my guilty pleasure song right here. Wait, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's Dip by Tyga featuring Nicki Minaj. Shout out to Tyga, shout out to Nicki Minaj. You know, I'm a big YMCMB fan, so anything they drop, I'm gonna check out. That's one of my favorite songs by Tyga. Get it, let's go into the next question. This one is from Farmer Yun, and he says, what's been the biggest thing you've noticed after having a growing community so much? The biggest thing I've noticed, I'll give you a positive and a negative, actually. So the negative, I'll start off with the negative. One thing I've noticed, especially just being a upcoming artist or an underground artist, people do get tired of rooting for you. So you kind of have to constantly be leveling up, because people do get tired of you being in the same position. So keep that in mind if you're an upcoming artist. People do get tired of you just kind of like being in the same position. You kind of have to level up and just show the growth. You have to show the growth. And the other thing, the positive side I've noticed is that people also want to gatekeep. I don't know if that's positive. I'll say positive because it shows that they really value the music and they don't want to get it out there yet. But people do gatekeep you, especially if they see like that you're really good and you still kind of like underground and not really mainstream, so they do gatekeep. I also think it's fire to kind of have to be in a place where it's kind of like the way people discover you is usually like through word of mouth, or they randomly stumble on across your song on like a Spotify playlist or like an Apple Music playlist, and it's like, oh shit, who's that? You know, the who's that is crazy. It's crazy because it's like now like they've been introduced to like something new and something fresh, and like, oh shit, you caught their ear. So that's like been like the best thing. It's like, oh, who's that? Who's Jeff? Like, oh, and then they dive into your whole catalog and they kind of like dive into your world, and they come into your world and they discover all these different things. So I think I'll say that's like the main things I've noticed, like the word of mouth aspect of just being like people in the community just kind of like recommending it to like the homies, their friends, and like family members and stuff like that, and the gatekeeping, and also like just the people rooting for you to grow and not necessarily stay in the same place. I'll say that's like the three main things I've noticed. But yeah, let's get into the next question. Okay, this one is from Purple Hell. Who's your main in your favorite fighting game? I don't play fighting games anymore, but when I used to play a lot of Tekken, and Jin was my favorite. There was another guy in Tekken that was my favorite. I think his name was Eddie, and Christina was fire too, and Leo was fire too. Shout out to Nina was fire too. So shout out to Tekken was one of my favorite games. I should get back to playing it. I also used to play a lot of WWE, but this was on on the PS2. It's a while back, PS2. I played a little on the Xbox and the PS5, and I'll say my favorite, I think with WWE, my favorite has always been either Jeff Hardy or like Randy Orton. Yeah, Randy Orton or Jeff Hardy. Those are like my two go-tos. I won't lie, like 2019, 2020, I think I was spamming Brock Lesnar. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it though. This one is from Jetto Star Rives, and they say, what was your favorite hobby to do when you were growing up? Was it to do with music or something completely different? From Australia. I think it's Australia or New Zealand, but shout out to you. Actually, that might be UK. Let me see, what flag is that? I think it's Australia though. Moment of truth. I think it's Australia. Australia, let's get it. My favorite hobby to do was growing up. I had a bunch. I used to love writing scripts. I love doing puzzles. What else? I love to play like soccer and stuff. I used to like have like a magazine, low key. But like I used to like print out the pages, write articles here and there. So I'll say those were like the things I used to do growing up. This one is from My Brain Hurt, and they say, how do you feel about being a part of a film centered around you? I feel good. I love film. I love movies. I love TV. I love like visual art. I feel good, man. I'm trying to get into like acting a little more, trying to get into like the film aspect. Working on a script with the homie, so I'm trying to get into that aspect of just like visual art, film, trying to like double down on like music videos and creating worlds around the music video. So that should be interesting. But yeah, man, I'll feel good about it. Next question. If you had to come up with a new term to describe your style of music, what would you call it? I'll call it loner, as always, man. Loner. And this one is from Ned Loren. I hope I say your name right. Shout out to Ned. And they say, if you could describe Lunar World Volume 2, my upcoming EP, in one word, what would it be? Do you recognize your evolution in this volume compared to the first one? If I could describe it in one word, I'll say confident, very confident. And do you recognize your evolution? Yeah, I do. I think I'm more in tune with the sound that I want to go for, more in tune with the bars, more in tune with the message that I want to send. So I'll say confident for sure. Lunar World Volume 2 coming soon, by the way, September 22. This one is from Nomad.Amina, and they say, what would you say to another artist exactly in your position, but in Toronto, trying to make it and find his own in this world? Exactly my position, but from Toronto. I'll say the community thing is a big aspect of just trying to grow a community. So I'll say do local shows, try and do a lot more shows, and shows, try and open up for bigger artists, and try and get your name out there, try and get your face out there. So do more interviews, do stuff like this where I'm interviewing myself. Just do more, get your face out there as much as you can locally, and over time it's gonna spread over international wise. So I'll say that. This one is from Matt_Gonzo. Do you work on multiple projects simultaneously, or do you allow yourself to complete your current project before to the next one? I think I work on a bunch of projects at the same time. I'm thinking like right now I'm working on my EP, working on the album, working on another visual film thing that I'm doing, and then I'm working on the tour. So it's a bunch of different things happening at the same time. So I feel like that's the best way for me, just to kind of get my brain working, and I'm just every medium, and I'm just attacking everything every single day. And it's dope, man. It just keeps the brain going. It keeps me creative. So I'll say that's what I prefer. This one is from Riverwater00. What's your daily routine, and what in it helps you to keep a fresh creative mind, and how do you learn to rap? I'm trying to rap myself. My daily routine. I'll give you a daily routine where I'm like, because I have studio days and then I have days where I'm not in the studio at all. I'll give you a studio day routine. I usually wake up, hit the gym, or do some cardio because I need to get my brain, working, get the blood flowing. And then I'll come back, shower, eat, whatever, and then hit the studio. And I usually have the beats or the ideas or whatever ready, because I have days where I just like put beats together, put ideas together in like a folder, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this when I get to the studio next time. So I usually have that ready, and I'll start with like the easiest, or like sometimes I start with like the hardest, sometimes I start with the easiest. And by what I mean by that is like the hardest is usually writing verses and coming up with like the verses and stuff, and the easiest is usually coming up with like melodies and the idea for the song and whatnot, the concepts behind the song. So I usually start with one of them, and I double down. I do that for about 3-4 hours, and then I finish 3-4 hours. I take a break, then I come back, and I just kind of like finalize whatever I did that day. I usually try and make, like every session, I usually try and make 2 to 3 songs per session, and I usually continue working on those ideas depending on how it goes. Sometimes I finish songs in one session. Sometimes it takes like 2-3 sessions to finish a song. So it usually depends. And then what's the other part of the question? He said, and how did you learn to rap? I learned to rap by, how did I learn to rap? You know what I used to do? I don't know how I learned to like rap, but like my breath control and like my just like knowing how to rap, like flow. I used to like rap alongside, like, let's say for example, J. Cole have a record. I'll literally just learn the lyrics and rap the exact same way he raps alongside him. So as he's rapping on the song, I'm rapping with him. So I kind of like understand how to put my bars so it could like flow better. I'll do that with Cole. I'll do that with Drake. I even did that with like Method Man, Hove, Jay-Z, Kendrick, just like all the rappers. I'll just do that and learn how to kind of have my breath control and like how to flow better on the song. So I'll say that's like the main thing that it really like took my rapping from okay to like Jeff. You feel me? But yeah, that's kind of how I learned. And that's about it. The rest of the questions are just like music questions that I think I've already answered before. If it's a question about tour, question about music, a project like that, I'm gonna link the video to that up here. But like I said, man, I'm gonna try and do these more consistently. Try and drop them on YouTube. I'm thinking every Monday or every Sunday. And then I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do another one where I break down lyrics. So drop in the comments, let me know what vibes y'all looking for, what type of content. Not even what type of content, but like what type of segments, Q&As or anything like that. Or if you just want to see me cook up beats and make beats and like record, just let me know. I'm also do that. But like I said, man, it's been a pleasure. It's the Loner Ink General coming straight from the underground. This was another edition of the Jeff interview. I'm gonna see y'all soon. Tour coming soon. Get your tickets. What else? I think that's about it. Tour coming soon. Get your tickets. EP coming soon. Get your well, EP coming soon, but get your tickets. And yeah, man, I'm gonna see y'all soon. New music coming soon, and just like that, we out.